going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. And today we are here for Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 14. And before we start this video, guys, I would like for all of you to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And with that being said, guys, we're going to hop into today's episode. Today's episode basically takes place right after the last one, where God Tarantula and Jeremy were taking the other greater guardian spirits away, also taking them away off into the distance, off into the sky. We see that they get intercepted by Himeno, who is trying to get Scorpy back. And she realizes, she starts fighting Jeremy. She asks Jeremy, were you the one? She basically wants to know if he was the reason why the Fury of the Gods actually happened. She wants to know, was that him? He basically says that nah, it wasn't me. Well, he know how Jeremy is. Jeremy makes things very freaking vague. So he basically says that he didn't do it, but she doesn't understand that because all of them are freaking idiots. But she basically ends up chasing him, and she wants him to be captured. She wants him to be taken in for trial and be captured and executed, things like that. We see that the bug Narok that was with him, the one that can make illusions, ended up pretending to be Sebastian, and ends up running up, grabbing Himeno, and then that's when he tells Jeremy to get away, and he ends up getting away himself. So Himeno is peed off because she wants everybody to basically help her because she thinks that he admitted, or she thinks that he is the one that is the reason why her parents are dead and the whole Fury of the Gods thing even happened. So she is pissed throughout this entire episode. So no one is really willing to help her right now because they see how messed up she's really acting, and no one is kind of really willing to help her. Considering the fact that they're basically not fully confirmed that he actually did was the reason why the whole thing happened. And with that, we see Death Narok, who is training with another Bug Narok, who kind of doesn't look like a Bug Narok. He kind of doesn't. He looks like something else. He looks like another type of monster from a different Sentai or something like that. This guy looks nothing like a freaking bug. But we see that they make it seem like he's an older gentleman. We see that Dark Narok's training with him, he's not really like full physical combat. We see that this guy is like just this kind of martial arts kind of master, and they basically instruct him to go take out Jeremy and basically bring back God Tarantula, because with God Tarantula is able to talk to and get the other greater guardian spirits to follow it. So if they have God Tarantula, they have all the other greater guardian spirits. So this guy's like, all right, cool, I'll do it. And he gets so after that, we see that Himeno is still going through the whole thing of trying to find Jeremy. We see that she ends up capturing Gira, and because Gira is the only one that can talk to Shu God, so she ends up capturing him. And when she captures him, she takes him back to her kingdom. And we see after that, we see Rita go back to her kingdom, and her subordinate tells her that, hey, we got a situation over here, and there's Jeremy. Jeremy's all beat up and he's laying in the snow. And she asks him, what are you doing here? And he's like, I needed somewhere I got sick of all the noise and I needed somewhere quiet to be. So he ends up running to there. She does end up capturing him, putting him on trial, and asking him a bunch of questions about were you the reason why the Fury of the Gods happened. So that's when Rita tells the whole story of what happened to her when she was a child, what happened to Himeno when she was a child, telling him that her parents were killed because of the calamity. Her parents basically saved a bunch of people, but still a lot of other people were still killed. And by you not telling her and mocking her and basically ignoring all her questions, you basically pour salt on her wounds, and she's not going to just be like, okay, whatever, if you apologize to her. And she also said that even after her parents died, she automatically became the queen of her kingdom, because even at a very young age. And she said the rest of us are also in the same similar positions. We were all forced to take power, even though we were all young kids at the time. So it kind of puts more perspective of who they are. Into Jeremy's head. He kind of feels like he misjudged them. He kind of thought that they were all kind of just like these selfish kids, but they're actually not. And they're in these situations because they were sort of forced to be, or they had to fight their way to get to that. I'm talking about Yanma right now. But yeah, so he basically says that, hey, I'm here to I will give her actual information. I will give her information that will lead to like the truth, to actual truth, and get her off my back. So he basically asked Rita, does he know about that cartoon called Mufan? The cartoon that Rita really loves a lot. Talking, basically saying that cartoon was actually created for children to like and to love and to stuff like that. Like and saying it was kind of made for Himeno. At least that's how I kind of interpreted it. But cartoons are made for everybody, but still, but yeah. So after that, we see that the kids we see that Rita comes up, and she wants the kids to well, not the kids, but Rita, as he comes up, and she actually does offer the information and things like that to basically offers and shows the information and all the history and stuff like that to Himeno, basically. And after we see Rita talk to Jeremy, he basically says that well, I wasn't around technically. Essentially, he was asleep. He was asleep, and he was inside this cave. And then these people discovered him in this cave, and they thought he was a corpse. And he ended up becoming a tourist attraction because people call him the corpse that doesn't rot. So he ended up becoming a tourist attraction without even knowing it. So they basically say that, oh, you were asleep, and he was like, yeah, well, I've been alive for a millennia, so I mean, a 1 year nap, a year-long nap has to happen every once in a while. So he's not the reason why the whole thing even happened. We kind of do know who did it, because the perpetrator did kind of look like Raculus. But yeah, she thought it was him because he's lived for that long, and the venom that was used to kill her parents, stuff like that, was the venom from Great Scorpion. So she kind of put that together, and then since like Scorpion follows him too, she kind of feels like that he was able to do that. And then she also felt like he was controlling all of the rest of the greater guardian spirits. So yeah, so they end up so the Ragnarok end up attacking her kingdom. While they're attacking her kingdom, they ended up we see that Himeno goes off and starts fighting, and then that's when Kiragi Acid goes off and starts fighting with them. We see that everybody kind of gets beat up by the martial arts Ragnarok guy. After they end up getting beat up by him, while Gira's fighting him, that's when Himeno steps in. She actually single-handedly beats this guy. And yeah, that's when everything else happened with the information being told and stuff like that. So that's when Jeremy comes up. Well, we see that Kiragi and Yanma ended up hacking into Himeno. Well, Yanma ended up hacking into her systems and actually telling everybody in the kingdom that, hey, your queen is looking for this guy Jeremy. If you bring her back, if you see this guy, please bring them to her. Please bring him to her. And Kiragi was like, yeah, if you do it, then the queen will give you whatever you want. And while that's happening, we see the girl. I think this was the little girl. Yeah, we've seen this girl before. This one girl who was she was in a previous episode. She was the little girl that was pretending that she couldn't walk. I think, yeah, the girl, she couldn't walk, so her dad could, like, make money or, something, or something off of her. I think it's her. I think it's that little girl. And she sees that, mess, and then she runs off immediately to go find Jeremy. And so while everybody's in the woods and stuff like that talking, we see that Himeno is like, she's rage-filled, and you see Gira and everybody else trying to talk her down and stuff like that, and telling her to go about this a different way because she wants Jeremy dead. So that's when we see Rita come up, give her all the information. That's when that's when the girl comes up. They're all talking in the woods, and that's when the girl comes up and she finds Jeremy, and then brings Jeremy to Himeno, and he tells her everything, and tells her everything about the cartoon, and a bunch of basically all a bunch of other stuff. She asks him, "Hey, were you the one that caused the fury of the gods?" And he was like, "No, I was not." And she was like, "All right, cool. Well," and he's like, "Okay, well, I guess it's time for me to stop calling her a kid and start calling her queen." And she says, "Hey, prove yourself to me." And basically saying, prove yourself to me. I'll be able to trust you because of your actions, not because your words. So he ends up calling God Tarantula and three greater guardian spirits after we see the big martial arts monster as it grows, and we have our big mech fight. But we don't get like an actual mega, like a combination. No one really combines in this. We just see the actual Zords themselves in their regular bug forms as they fight this guy. But it's just the three greater guardian spirits and God Tarantula. So we see it's Jeremy, Himeno, Gira, and Yanma all sitting there, and they're all controlling a different greater guardian spirit, and with God Tarantula have a webbing connected to them, and they ended up taking this guy out kind of brutally because they ended up jumping this dude. They were stomping him out for a good few seconds, and they ended up defeating him. And that's when Jeremy has like a newfound respect for Himeno. We see that Himeno does talk to the little girl, and she asks her, "Hey, what would you like?" And she was like, "I can't really think of anything. Living here in this kingdom, I pretty much have everything I want, so I'm good." And that's when Himeno was like, "All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna promise you that I'm gonna keep protecting this kingdom, so you can keep living the way you want to live." And yeah. That's basically the episode ends right there, but we see Kiragi. Kiragi ends up going back to Raculus and telling him that, hey, Jeremy will possibly be a very good use. He tells him, well done. Kiragi asks him, hey, is my sister doing well? And Raculus asks him, do you want to see her? And he says, no, I've stilled myself from seeing her until, and then we get actually to see his sister. We see her face and everything. The last line she says is, my dear brother. So after that, I think and next week's episode seems like they're gonna try and save his sister, try to get her out of there. So Kiragi can get from under Raculus's boot. And but this episode was actually pretty freaking good. Talking about when it came down to the whole calamity thing, I love how Himeno was able to really, really take charge in this episode. She actually beat a monster of the week by herself, which was actually pretty cool. The whole story of Jeremy actually sort of not knowing about he knew about it, but I don't think he knew about the Fury of the Gods, because it was just a bunch of it was basically just the cicadas. He says he's acquainted with the big cicadas, but he didn't tell them to do that, but the guy that we saw perpetrating, and the perpetrator, he was the one that actually was able to use them and stuff like that. So still don't know who that guy is, but I mean, most likely it's somebody from Shu Gundam, even though with the way their outfit looks up under that black cloak, most likely it's someone from Shu Gundam. So, Shogunum. I say Shu Gundam, Shogunum. But yeah, I do like also the Bugnarok that was with Jeremy. I'm so glad. I'm kind of glad this guy hasn't died yet. I actually like this guy. I hope he doesn't die. I hope he doesn't. If he does die, I hope he dies in like a blaze of glory, like he's saving somebody or something. Like, I don't want this guy to die. He's actually kind of nice. But this episode was pretty okay. Had some, got some more lore dumps and stuff like that about everything. Got some more backstory on Jeremy. And next episode, we're gonna see like a Megazord form of God Tarantula. But so yeah, it looks cool. Heavily CGI. I mean, all of the Zord stuff is, but still. But anyway, You guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this episode of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 14. Like I said before, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And remember, as I always say, guys, stay henshin.